Made it! We're on top of the world!
What is your name?
Shalla Johnson. Shalla Michelle Johnson.
What did you learn about your trip to Soweto?
One thing that particularly stood out on our trip to Soweto is the fact that South African land is highly rich. It's rich in minerals. What I didn't know, I was aware of diamonds, in Africa, mining for diamonds. That's definitely been a big thing. I was not aware of the gold rush in South Africa, and that being one reason why the Dutch, as well as England, started migrating here to basically mine the land and extract gold and diamonds to sell. So that was definitely a big eye-opener for me, just how rich the land is, and it definitely made me think of Wakanda. Something that stood out to me is nothing new for me, but it was just definitely kind of a confirmation that young people create change. And something specifically that I learned on our trip into Soweto was, I might be getting his name a little bit wrong, but Hector was a young boy that was killed. I believe he was 12 years old, as apartheid was kind of coming to a close.
At the end of that very first day, because this did not just become a one-day event. It stretched on for just over 3 months.
There were definitely lots of protests, and a lot of the protests came from the children that were actually, they were boycotting going to school because the schools were absolutely segregated and they were not learning true education. They were not learning very much, and so they were boycotting what they were learning to actually try and receive real education. And so through those boycotts, police ended up shooting and killing. Hector may have been one of the first students to die, or one of the youngest students, I believe, to die. And the protests and the boycotts on Soweto's end were completely non-violent, and the police acted in force and violence. And so through that, more children and more people got behind the cause to create change and to stop and end apartheid. So it just makes me hopeful for the future, and just knowing that in our history, a lot of times change comes from our children. And so this trip, I would say, has been a gift to me personally, having 4 children, and just being able to give this, or be able to have this experience together with you all. Just to be able to, you can read it in history books and see it on documentaries, but to be able to feel the history and to see it with your own eyes is incredible. It's huge. It's a gift. I think what I found surprising is that I continue to be surprised and to be emotional about the depths of injustices on our people. And so, coming to South Africa and Johannesburg and Cape Town, we read books, and we read books about apartheid in South Africa and Desmond Tutu. And so I was aware of how apartheid happened and different parts of the history of South Africa, and still yet I think I am still shocked at the atrocities that have happened to our people all across the world. So in different parts of the country, in different parts of the continent. In the United States, we have our own injustices that we continue to fight, and still in South Africa, they have their own injustices. And so I think that I find myself just surprised at the level of injustices that our race has endured. And still yet we stand strong and hopeful for change, and believe that this world can be different, and we can create a different place for all people to